Hi everyone. I just wanted to do another quick check-in and let you know what's going on and to talk about one other aspect. And that is my surgery. So my surgery is tomorrow, and I want to tell the story about a little thing. There's this thing that happened to me that I imagine happens to a lot of people, and that was when they did my initial ultrasound. And I mentioned in a previous video, they were working on the one side and found, I think, like 6 lumps. And then they found a lump on the other side. And that was like this fear that it had spread. And so that's when I decided to close my eyes and not watch anymore. And when I went to the surgeon said, no, that other lump is just a cyst. And so I was like, oh, that's really good. She goes, yeah, it doesn't look like it's spread. It's spread into the breast tissue. Of course, they're going to do a lymph node biopsy, so we don't know if it's spread there, but they did say that that it was a cyst. And then I went to the MRI. And there's a thing that you notice, and I might have mentioned this before, that when they give you your test results, usually if your test is negative, they don't call you back. But when your test is bad, when it's a bad result, they usually call you right away. Well, they called me the next morning after the MRI and said, you have another lump. We need to have another mammogram and ultrasound. And all of a sudden I was like, well, I thought that was a cyst. They're like, no, the surgeon needs to look at it. And it was this event that was, so that day I got the news and they said, we need you to go in the next day, and we scheduled it. And then I took the dogs for a walk and I lost my car key and I couldn't get there. So I called them to say, is it okay if I'm about 30 minutes late? Because there wasn't an Uber or Lyft close by. And my nurse actually came and gave me a ride to the hospital and back, which is amazing. Just the treatment that I'm getting at Timpanogos is amazing. But so she came and picked me up, and I went in, and while I was there, she gave me a blanket, which is another thing with breast cancer. You get a lot of gifts from your doctors. But then they came in and said, I talked to the oncologist, and he said, actually, we don't need this. This is a mistake. But while I was sitting there thinking about going through the whole process again on the other side, I realized that I am at risk and that I don't want to go through this again. So I decided to get a double mastectomy. So right now, we still believe it's stage 2, but they'll do a lymph node biopsy. So tomorrow, the surgery I'm having is a double mastectomy with a lymph node biopsy. And during the surgery, they'll be 90% sure whether or not there's cancer in the lymph node. There is a 5 to 10% chance after the surgery they might find something when they do, when they process the biopsy further, but most of the time they can tell right then. And if they do, they just remove the lymph nodes, and very minor side effects to that, like that I would have to live with. So really, the odds that it spread through my body are very, like, almost non-existent. The possibility that it's in the lymph nodes is still there, but that it's spread from the lymph nodes is unlikely. So it's at most a stage 3. 90% likely it's a stage 2. So, but I am having the double mastectomy because I do have a complicated cyst on the other side that was just enough to make me realize that maybe I should go ahead and do the double mastectomy. Now, when it came to my decision later about the tattoo and everything, I was just so grateful for the decision. And so many of the doctors, all of the doctors and nurses have said, you are going to be so glad you did that. Everyone I know that just went with a single mastectomy regretted it, because you have to go in for screenings all the time and everything. For me, this will be the end of it, the end of breast cancer. as long as it's not in my lymph nodes. I'm going to be done. If it is in my lymph nodes, I will have chemo and radiation. But this will be the end. And the beautiful thing is I get to decide on what size I'll be in. I actually get to finally be something I haven't been since I was about 13 years old, and that is a runner. So through all this, those of you that know, I've also been going through an oxygen issue, and my whole life I was told that I had low oxygen because of my heart, where the truth is I have the heart problems I have because I have low oxygen. I have a general apnea, which means I just stop breathing sometimes, like just any time, day, night, awake, asleep, whatever. But what happened is probably because of the cancer. They can't find another reason. I have been through a battery of tests, but probably because of the cancer, my oxygen dipped even further because the tumor requires extra blood so they can have an effect. And they think it's probably the cancer made it just enough worse to bother me this much. So, but the good news is this. I'm gonna be a runner. For the first time in my life since I was 13, I get to be a runner. I get to be and do what I want to be and do. And so every day after the surgery, as far as I'm concerned, even if I do have to have radiation, even if I do have to have chemo, this is the beginning of the next part of my life where I feel the one piece that's been missing. Those of you that know me know what I do with the brain, and that my mental health through this is really sound. In fact, I've had a lot of comments from the doctors and nurses that they're like, yeah, you have none of the mourning process or anything you have to do because you're so emotionally sound. You're doing really great. But that and the other health things, everything is good except for this last thing. And so for me, this is where I get to take that health seriously, where I get to start running, to start doing all those things I wasn't doing before. So anyway, I just wanted to share about that story about the MRI because I didn't think I had. And also to let people know I am going into surgery tomorrow. I will pop on for a minute and let you know when I'm heading in. I'll also try and check in after. I may be in the hospital for a couple days. I don't know if I'll do a recording from the hospital. If I get a chance, I will. But if it's disturbing to the hospital at all, I won't. So if you don't hear from me before Thursday, just know I'm at the hospital recovering. Otherwise, I will touch base tomorrow and let you know I'm on my way. And from that point on, I will really be sharing this journey with everyone, with all the next steps I take. If I have treatments or anything, I'll take you with me. So anyway, that's the update for today. I hope everyone has an amazing day. I'm feeling very optimistic and good. I'm excited to have this done and be moving on and running into my future. And I hope everyone's inspired to do the same. Also, quick note, thank you. Thank you for the contributions and the shares. I've been seeing the shares and I'm just so grateful. If you can share this, I just want as many people to see it as possible. So I have it on my YouTube as well as the GoFundMe. So if you'd rather check in on YouTube, if you're more comfortable with that, it's on YouTube and on Instagram, on IGTV, and I'm sharing those links on Facebook and Twitter. So much love to everyone. Thank you for all your support. I feel so loved and supported in this journey, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share it with you. Again, I hope everyone has a beautiful day.